Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another session of Listen Up. My name is Roque Martin D'mello. I am the CEO of Cedar College, and I'm a math teacher, a physics teacher, and I've been at the founding level of this institution. I've been teaching for the last 22 years now. Started in 2000, but today we have with us a very special guest. Sir Ahmed Saya. Sir Ahmed Saya and I go back many, many years. Sir Ahmed Saya is a well-renowned, world-renowned, figure. He's a math teacher and an account teacher at the O-level and at the A-level standards, and he's acquired international fame, which we'll find out more about. But what's interesting is that other than just being, he's a philanthropist, he is a, motivator, he is a inspiration for many teachers as well. And we are very glad to have him on our, Listen Up session today.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for such a generous introduction.
So, sir, can you tell me a little bit about how, you really got back into this field, or how did you get into this field, and when did your journey start for teaching, and when did this passion start?
So I started teaching as early as year 2000 when I was in my O-levels. And initially, I did not intend to become a teacher. The motivation at that point in time when I started teaching was to finance my own studies. So I thought that I'll finance my own studies and it'll be a smooth sail so that I can easily do my O and A levels. But as and when I started teaching, I realized that it's not a profession, it is a passion. And it's not a job, it's a responsibility. So as time passed, I realized that I was completing my studies. Along with that, I did my O-levels, A-levels, then I did my ACCA. Then I got the BSc honors degree that we get through the ACCA from Oxford Brookes University. And meanwhile, I was teaching continuously. And when I qualified as a chartered accountant, I had two options: quit teaching and enter into the corporate world, or continue teaching and make difference in lives of those who I can inspire. And I decided that I think teaching is my forte. I had the willingness as well as the ability to do it. And since then, it's not stopping. I mean, it eventually turned into a passion. I wanted to be inspiration for youth. I wanted to become a role model, and I continued doing that. And then I did my master's. Now I'm doing my PhD. With all that, teaching has always been closest to my heart.
So what's interesting is that you go back in your teaching career all the way to 2000, but
2000.
You were teaching and studying and managing that like a student teacher thing. That's very early on in your life. You were very young, obviously, just the O levels.
Yeah, I was in grade 9th when I started teaching.
Oh wow.
So I was in 9th. I was teaching kids of grade 8th and grade 9th. So much so that my very first batch of O-level students were almost my age. Or some of them were even older. And they were always of the thing कि हम आपको sir बोलें या अहमद भाई बोलें, because there was no age difference, and we still share a very good bonding, and it's obviously an amazing experience, and it's a lifetime experience. The very few first batches are always closest to your heart because they have seen you when you were nothing.
Absolutely. What's really interesting for at least the audience to know is that we both started at the same time, and the only time we've ever met for the first 10 years has always been at the Cambridge trainings, or whenever we went internationally or traveled, and we only met at the Cambridge trainings, either in Karachi or in the UK, and that was our only meetings. And so I think you would like to shed some light on all the trainings and the Cambridge trainings that you've been for.
obviously it's one of the mandatory requirements, officially not mandatory requirements, but it's considered to be a mandatory requirement that teachers should attend Cambridge trainings. And we do that. There are several reasons for doing that. One, we try to learn new aspects, whatever being introduced in the syllabus or whatever is the expectation of the student, of the examiner from the students. But more importantly, it's a good get together of the teachers. It's a connection, it's a connecting time where we get to know each other well, especially when there are international trainings and we are traveling together. We get to know each other a lot because traveling teaches us so many things that nothing else teaches us that way. So I think the longest meetup was a UK training, and where we were there for 3-4 days together. And in Karachi trainings, obviously it's the lunch breaks or the tea breaks where we used to get to know each other a bit, and we always knew each other, but we never had the opportunity to gel in that well.
Not compared to how it was in Cambridge. What's interesting is that apart from being the most well-dressed person in Cambridge, you also had an award that you were, commemorated for, recognized for, and it was in 2019, I remember.
Yes.
After we had already met 3 or 4 times, where you were recognized for the world's best Cambridge teacher at that moment. So can you tell us a little bit about that and how that came about? And
all right, Cambridge University Press, in association with Cambridge University, decided to award teachers, and they titled it as world's most dedicated teacher.
yeah.
And they invited students across the globe to nominate their favorite teachers or their teachers who had made impact on their lives. So there were lots of teachers who were nominated across the globe. I was one of them, and the students showered their love on me and they nominated me, and eventually their panel of judges started shortlisting teachers who they thought fell into the criteria that they had set. So I first time got to know of it, that I have been nominated, was when I had reached top 50. And then I got another email that I have qualified for top 10. Then I got another email that I have qualified for top 6. And now it will be, the story of all 6 teachers will be published. And people across the globe will be invited to vote for whose story they think touches their heart most and they feel is the most dedicated teacher. Obviously, they had their own criteria. They were tagging onto that, and they were also looking into the voting criteria also. And God is great, alhamdulillah, I got 80% of the votes. The other 5 candidates got 20% of the votes. So, alhamdulillah, I was awarded as the world's most dedicated teacher. And I was called to Cambridge. They had a special ceremony for celebrating this award. All the educationists, many educationists from 220 countries across the world were invited. They gave me a standing ovation there for improving the image of Pakistan, for being the ambassador of Pakistan. And that was the moment of my life. I mean, the goosebumps I was getting at that point in time, the way they made me feel like a celebrity, the way they treated me is beyond words. Is something that I cannot explain, because that moment, that pride, that point where I got to raise Pakistani flag in UK still gives me goosebumps.
Not, honestly speaking, I mean, for all us delegations who were there also, although we were representing different institutions and we had come from different places, but it was, I'm actually going to take the liberty that in one of the photographs with you holding the flag right in front in the whole Cambridge thing, that got published in many places, and we had different schools there, but we were all standing behind that flag because at that moment everybody felt like a lot of patriotism and a lot of and I think one thing is to be mentioned here that in Cedar we pride ourselves at having the best teachers, and we've got this team of people who all you have a very good relationship with all of them, and Dr. Hisham or whether it's Umair Masood or Bilal Hamid or, Salman Amin or, any one of the teachers who are, at least recognized all around. And we all share that, one thing that is common regardless of whether, they have an international recognition or not. They all feel that, there's a nice group of people who are, sharing the same mindset or the passion of teaching. So can you talk a little bit about, your experience with these teachers at Cedar College, and what do you feel about their professionalism? And
I mean, the amount of respect everyone at Cedar gives me, that's amazing. I mean, we all share a very good bonding. I mean, in the staff room, whenever we get time, although there are back-to-back classes, we rarely get time. But when we get into the staff room, even for 2 minutes, we have so many things to share, and those are the enjoyable moments. And we all share a bond that is not only professional but also a friendly thing that we all share. Like everyone make sure that the other person is aware of their strengths. They complement each other. We all try to ask each other the very basic question: syllabus coverage कहाँ तक पहुँची? आजकल बच्चों का कैसा behavior चल रहा है? How is the classroom environment? So all these things are common pain points for all the teachers, and everyone has a different insight to it. Some of us take it very positively, and some of us take it as a learning experience. But everyone has a different story to share, of the same class, of the same student, and everyone gives a very different perspective, which definitely adds on to the wisdom and is a value addition in a teacher's lifestyle also. I mean, I look something from a perspective, but when, for example, I'm talking to you, you give me a completely different perspective of that thing, and I realize, ऐसे भी तो हो सकता है. So that's what makes us very unique and very different at the same time.
I think there's a story to tell a little bit about. There's a Ahmed Saya, Cordoba, and Cedar kind of, relationship that also, I think plays a vital role in our relationship as, just colleagues, but also in your relationship as an employee of Cedar, and how that whole thing got together. So if you can just talk a little bit about that. And
Actually, obviously, I remember you and Umair coming to me in the initial days of Cedar, in fact, at the starting point, and you were like, okay, join Cedar, and I was like, मैं जब कोडोबा छोड़ूंगा ना फिर join करूंगा. And then there came a point that there was a Cordoba Cedar transition taking place, and where both Cordoba and Cedar told me that you have to sit in the meeting in whatever decisions that are being taken, because you are the common mutual friend. You know us and you know them. So make sure that you are there in all the meetings and in the transition process so that everything smooths out. And they said that one of the transition clauses, on a light-hearted note, was that we will take you over also. And that did eventually happen, because I am taking the most of my sections here at Cedar, of both maths and accounting, and definitely it was a learning experience. Cordoba definitely was a second home to me. I mean, the bonding I shared there is irreplaceable. Actually, those were the people who groomed me in making me what I am today. They play a very vital role in seeing in the Ahmed Saya that you all see today. Because I joined Cordoba when it started in 2007, and at that time I was 19 years old, and they definitely groomed me a lot. And I had this feeling for them that I will not join any other A-level college if it harms Cordoba. And that is the reason I never used to join any other place till Cordoba was in existence. After that, when this transition took place, Cedar treated me as Cordoba used to treat me. The same level of respect, the same level of enthusiasm, the same level of appreciation. And I at times did not realize that the transition has taken place. And it was a good gesture, good feeling. And the amount of respect everyone gives me here is commendable.
I mean, I must tell you that amongst our students also, there's a lot of, sharing of how teachers are doing and what's their experience. And students, love to be in your class, and they love to, once they enter or they exit your class. I've often in our corridors we've shared some notes, and I go, Ahmed, if you could give a little less homework, maybe they will do my homework, and we have this, this little banter going on. But as far as teaching, math and accounts at Cedar, and engaging with the students, how has your experience been? I think we've been now for, in a relationship about, 4 years or so.
Yes.
So how has that been
It's a good experience, but overall, I always think, I have started thinking that students pre-COVID and post-COVID, it's an entirely different generation that we are teaching. COVID definitely helped us become tech savvy, but it also made students feel too relaxed. They started taking things for granted. They thought कि online available तो है ना, lectures भी हैं, live classes भी हैं, so it's okay not to come to college someday or the other, which I felt very bad. I mean, I was of the opinion that if the class is being held, you have to be there. I don't care how ill you are, whatever the problem you are facing, if there is a class, you have to be there. And it goes for me also. I'm ill, I will be there on campus making sure that I take the class to prove it to you that when I'm unwell, I'm there. You will be unwell, you will be there. I can't tolerate the fact that you enjoy and I try and struggle only for you. Actually, the students do realize things, but they realize that a bit late in life. That whatever we are doing, it's for their own career, their own future, their own benefit. At times, on face, they feel that we are pressurizing them too much. They love to be part of my class, but it's very difficult for them to survive that phase also.
Yeah.
Because it's a pressure. And it's not something that we love doing that for them. It is something that will convert the coals into diamonds. That is the philosophy behind giving them so much pressure and to ensure that they do lots of homework.
Yeah.
And the students have also made this as a scapegoat for all the other subjects. Sir, Saya ko homework bahut tha isliye humne aur kaam nahi kiya. That's not always true. At times there is no homework and they are still making up that story that bahut homework tha and we could not do a certain other task. But that comes part and parcel with what we do. So I think that's something which is tolerable, and at the same time, it's a learning experience for the kids also. They eventually make sense out of these things, and they also realize that everything will not come to them in a silver spoon. They need to struggle, they need to work hard, and whatever is taught at A levels academically is the maximum that they will be taught academically. In universities, they will be taught things, but not as rigorously as A levels. Plus, university has a different dimension to academics. They make you street smart, they make you more confident, they groom you, they try to place you to different organizations. Whereas we at A levels act as a bridge between their school life, where they are kids, and their university, where they are adults. So this bridge is the most vital part of their life. If this bridge is held strong, it's a smooth sail for them. If it's a shaky bridge, then they realize that in their university that I wish I could have done much better in college and I would have been having a better smooth sail.
We are doing on this exact topic. We are doing another podcast as well with on Umair Masood, the former CEO of Cedar, and you know him very well, and you know you are partners in other endeavors as well. But interestingly, we're talking about exactly the same idea now with the rise of AI and generative tools. A lot of teaching will change. A lot of ways of thinking would change. Students' approach to subjects are going to dramatically change, and if they are not already at university, this has become a big thing. Research papers are being debated. The way of studying is being debated, and I think one good thing about having teachers like you and the ones that Cedar have is that they are very adaptive and they want to try out new technology and new changes and to reach the students. The reason for mentioning all of it is because recently, you've made another stamp in the world, and you've punched your name down once again, and this time much more literally. And you've got just to bring it to light to the rest of the audience, you've been also co-authoring a book which is now going to be in circulation at the IGCSE level and the O level. At the O level for mathematics.
Yes.
And it is again another recognition that you've acquired around the world, and you've I think it's newsworthy and things like that. Can you tell us, how did you firstly find the time for something like that? Because I know your schedule. It's extremely packed, and for this you need time and dedication, and I know it speaks about your discipline, but how did you manage, and what inspired you to write a book?
Actually, since my childhood, I have seen lots of books with all foreign names on the cover. I have rarely seen a book where there is a Pakistani name on the book. And I always thought, why Pakistanis don't write a book, or why academically they are not writing things. And since I have been brought up here, I know we have lots of talent. We have talent that is second to none. We have things that are our talent is yet unharnessed. Unfortunately, we do not get the right opportunities, or if we get the opportunities, we try to make a half-baked cake. And that puts us back. So when I got this opportunity, I leaped into it. I thought that this might be a foot in the door for other Pakistanis to follow. At least there will be an opening for them that we have the talent that the world can see. And God, as always, is very kind. He helped me in miraculous ways. And to be very honest, I know it's very difficult for me to take out time from things. My work routine is, I start my day, my first class at as early as 7:30 a.m. My last class ends at 10:30 at night. No breaks in between. And then I had the whole night to write the book. So there was lots of time, which could have been used constructively. And I did try and manage. And God is great. And there are so many people praying for me that automatically things become worthwhile, easier. And I feel I get the most motivation I get is from the students in class. I pressurize them, and then I have a pressure ready for myself also. If they can take classes all day and do the homework, then I can take classes all day and do my homework also. So that's also one of the areas that made me think beyond what was to be done. Plus, I to be very honest, I thought that our country needs recognition in the right direction. And if I could be a small light in that thing, I did not want to miss the opportunity.
And speaking about that small light, a few of our teachers who, really have an impact, and, a lot of the grade 10 and the grade 9 students do want to at least see them up in person. And we'll be inviting a few people, to just say a few words, because truly this thing is that that students need to know these success stories, because behind a success story of a role or a role model or a mentor, there's also a lot of discipline. There's a lot of dedication. I mean, from a 7 to a 10 p.m., 15, 16 hours of the day, and then still finding time to dedicate and give something like that. I think students will learn from this. And we are doing a series of talks, and, I'll be inviting, other teachers as well along with you to, have a few words said to our O-level students as well. But as far as the book is concerned, when is that probably going to roll out in our...
The book is already launched. The ebook is already available, and the hard copies will be, hopefully within a week or so, will be available in the market. And this book is officially endorsed by Cambridge, and hence it's the official textbook. So all those people who are doing O-level math, it's the official only recommended book for them.
So in this light, there's another question to ask, which is not a question really, but another announcement to be made. Recently, you have made another mark in this city, at least. And, a road has been named the Ahmed Saya Road. So how did that come about? And, what's the story behind that? And where is this road, if you can just tell us a little bit?
Actually, I got the opportunity to represent Pakistan twice internationally. In fact, there are 3 instances I got the opportunity to represent Pakistan. Number 1 was when I was awarded as world's most dedicated teacher by Cambridge University Press in association with Cambridge University. There I got to represent Pakistan. Then I am a global master trainer for Casio. So I am the only Pakistani who is training across the globe for how to operate that Casio calculator. And it's once again, internationally, I got the opportunity to represent Pakistan. And then I got the opportunity to write the official course book for O-level mathematics. So all these things, alhamdulillah, were helped me represent Pakistan. I always wanted to do something for the country. And we always thought that to do something for the country, you have to be at a position where you can do it. Never thought that God will make me a teacher so that I can represent my country internationally, globally. And since I did got the opportunity, alhamdulillah, the government of Pakistan decided to honor me, and they named this road that is in Gulshan-e-Iqbal, which is a dividing road between Block 8 and Block 18 and Block 9 and Block 19. So it connects 4 blocks of Gulshan-e-Iqbal, and that road has been named as Ahmed Saya Road.
Congratulations. I'll definitely make it a point to travel the Ahmed Saya Road. We have Cambridge exams, around the corner, giving the student. In fact, lots of papers have happened already. Any message that you want to give Cedar students, about, the exams or on anything in life that you'd want to talk about?
Definitely. My advice to students would always be to work hard. I always say this in class. I always say this everywhere, but this is something that is true. The harder you work, the luckier you become. There is no replacement to hard work, and there is no one who's born lucky. It's the hard work that changes your destiny. Secondly, it's always good to learn from mistakes. There is no one who's perfect. I make mistakes. As a teacher, I make mistakes. As a student, I make mistakes. And we do not expect people to be perfect. But it's, as I once again say, that it's to make a mistake is not a sin. Not to learn from a mistake and repeat a mistake is definitely a sin. So always learn from your mistakes. And you should never have a give up attitude. You can't achieve something, try again. You can't do something, try again. Try an alternative route. There is a possibility you are doing something in the wrong manner, but it's not the end of the world. There's a possibility that you are not looking in a different direction. And it even goes in our mathematical sums. We have to prove an identity We do it some way and we get stuck. And then we think from another perspective and we manage to do it very easily, very quickly in a few steps. It's just changing the perspective. It is just changing the thought process that we are reluctant to do even in our daily lives because we don't like changes. We are so glad to be in our comfort zone that we do not try and come out of it. And that is the hindrance to success. The moment we realize that we need to come out of the comfort zone, the moment we realize that there are so many things yet unharnessed and there are so many things that we can do, we will be able to do it. And there is one thing that as students, we realize that we think at times that we are not capable of doing something. Whether we think we can do it or we think we can't do it, we are always right. So I think we should always strive that we will be able to do it. Because even if I look at my journey, if I say, मैं तो book नहीं लिख सकता, If I say, मुझे क्यों मिलेगा most dedicated teacher का award, नहीं मिल सकता. If we just keep doing what we love doing, we put our heart and soul in it, we do it dedicatedly, we are hardworking, and we do it passionately, and we do not leave any stone unturned, there is no chance that we will not be successful. There is another problem that I would like to share and at the same time relate to the students, that our measure of success is wrong. We try to measure success as achievements. If we achieve something, we are successful. We get to wear things that are branded, we are successful. That's not the criteria for success. Success, as I always say, are baby steps. You do something better than yesterday, you are successful. And by taking those baby steps, I think we can do well. So my advice to students is take baby steps to success. Cross one bridge at a time. Do what you like doing and do it passionately. And when you are preparing for exams, don't prepare to pass the exam or get B or a C. Strive for the best. Because you don't win silver, you only lose gold.
Absolutely. So, so your words of advice, I think, are not only going to the students, they're also going to the teachers. And to be honest, if I kind of do some justice, perseverance, grit, struggle, hard work, no compromise on experimenting and trying, being okay with not necessarily achieving a target, but enjoying the process of doing it, as long as you know you've put your hard work and your commitment and your zeal into it, and then you give it all that you have. And I think our young teachers are also looking towards you and learning from you. And Cedar College is extremely proud to have you as one of the most I think fundamental members over here, and we are all like family. And
I'm humbled and I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. And so thank you very much. I hope this was a good session and everybody has some story to share after this. Thank you for coming here today. And, we shall see you in the next Listen Up session.
Thank you.
All right.